Hello, hello, welcome. Just going to get us situated. Thank you all for joining this evening. All right. Hello, hello, everyone. We have an exciting conversation this evening. We are leaning in on tax liens. So we're going to have a very, very good conversation this evening about tax liens. So if you are interested, come on and join us. If you have the Zoom link and you're watching via Facebook, come on in the Zoom. That way you can really engage and interact with our guest this evening. We'll try to, answer your questions in the Facebook group as well. But the magic is happening in the Zoom. So come on in the Zoom if you've got the Zoom link and you're watching. And so glad you guys could join us this evening. Good evening, Talisha. How are you?
I'm good, ma'am. How are you?
Good. I did confirm with our guests this evening, and they will be here momentarily. They're excited about tonight's conversation, and they have a pretty good offering for us to really help us get going with this thing. So this is more than just talking about it. Tonight we're going to be about it. So I am very, very excited for us as a community. Talisha, we're streaming live in the regular Facebook group. I was going to do it to the tax lien group, but I really want as many people to see this as possible. So
Yes,
once once we finish, then I'll go ahead and just put the recording in the tax lien group.
I can do that.
Okay. We'll let as many people see this as possible tonight and join us, hopefully. I love my early birds that come and get that early seat. That's right. Shout out to the early birds. Ah. Love my early bird. All right. Love my early bird. All right. For those of you who want to hang out with us twice tonight, at 8 o'clock, we've got our Bet on Black pitch presentation where we have another amazing founder that is going to tell us about what it is they're working on in the hopes that we will like what we hear and want to add that to our portfolio. So we'll be done with this session by about 6:45. And then I'll see you back here at 8 p.m. for our Bet on Black pitch. You know, we usually don't give you 2 in one night, but I didn't want this conversation to delay any longer. I told you guys, we are leaning in all the way on these tax liens. And so tonight was the first availability that we could get. And so we jumped on it. So tonight, you get to see me 2 times at 6 and then at 8. So thank you guys for joining and for hanging out with us. Hello, Dr. Rashida. Hi, Mr. Howard. How are you?
Hello, world traveler. I'm jealous of you.
Right. How was foreign territory? How was it?
It was beautiful. It was.
And who would not want to see you 2 times in one night?
Only crazy people. Who wouldn't want to? Oh, goodness. Well, we are excited you guys are here. I was telling the community as they're coming in, and we are already streaming on Facebook Live as well.
Awesome.
But I was saying to the community that, you know, we're leaning in on this thing. And so it's the one thing for us, you know, I want us to accomplish this year as a community is to get some successes from this and to be able to really talk about it and tell more people about it and all of that. And so thank you guys so much for being able to come back and hang out with us for a little while this evening. And I'm not going to delay any, you know, I want to jump in. I want to jump in and just really talk about it. We're streaming. We'll have the replay. Anybody who misses it can jump in and catch up. We'll send it in our newsletter. So they'll have plenty of opportunity to catch it from the beginning if they miss it, right?
Awesome.
But I want to be able to benefit from every single minute with you. And Mr. Howard, I know you've got a hard stop this evening. And so I want to be respectful of your time. Let's jump in. You guys came and talked to us. It's been maybe a month ago now, right? Time goes by so fast. I think it's been maybe a little over a month ago.
I just know it's been two out the country trips ago.
It was 2 out of the country.
That's exactly right, Mr. Howard.
That's right. So that means it's been about 8 weeks because I was gone and then I was back for 3 weeks and then gone again. So it's been about 8 weeks. That's funny. But you blessed us when you came and talked to us about tax liens. And so, you know, we're going to have some people join us this evening and watch this that were blessed enough to see that first session. And then there are going to be some that haven't, right? So I'd love to just start from the beginning, right? Tell us what tax liens are, why they are an asset class that we should be interested in and we should pay attention to, so that the community can understand what it is you are really here to teach us and how important it is that we pay attention to this. So if we can just kind of start.
All right. All right, so I'm gonna go. Y'all don't know I'm a preacher, so I take the long way around for everything. So there's a story behind the story, and then I get to the point. I hope y'all understand, right? So, it starts off with a story about a guy by the name of William the Conqueror, back in the late 18th century, right? Well, yeah, 17th century actually. William the Conqueror actually came up with a phrase called "No test sans segura," right? No test sans segura really meant no land without Lord. Every land had Lord. And if you did not do what William the Conqueror asked you to do, like pay taxes, do tributes, do night duty, give so much of your farmland, not land, but so much of your crops back to the king, things like that. If you did not do those things, well, then your land would revert back to the king and he would give it to whoever he thought would do the things that he requested. That is literally the first principle what we can find in history where we got a tax lien property, because a tax lien property simply means no test sans segura, no land without Lord. Now, they don't tell us this, but if you don't pay your taxes to the king in this case would be the government. If you don't pay your taxes to the government, well, guess what happens to that property? It reverts back to the king or back to the government, and then they're going to give it to somebody who will pay the taxes. That person would be me and you. We are willing to pay the taxes for people who won't, because the county is at a deficit. Like, one of the things that I talk about is finding depressed properties, right? The county is depressed because they have told their constituents, people who voted for them, that they're going to be able to meet budget. In order to meet budget, that means the roads need to be good, the school system needs to be good, the library needs to be good, the hospital needs to be funded, the county, the jail, the sheriff system, all the administration, all these things have to be paid for. Well, what funds like 80% of your county is property taxes. So when you get tens of thousands of people who don't pay property taxes, well, then you're looking at millions and tens of millions of dollars, and depending on how big your county is, hundreds of millions of dollars of unpaid taxes. And the government is saying, where are we going to get this money from to fund the hospitals, to keep the libraries up, to fix the roads, to keep the school system going, to keep the jail system going? And so they came up with the same system that William the Conqueror said is that, hey, when they don't do it, it will revert back to us and we'll give it to somebody else who does. Right? Now, to be equitable, because nobody just wants their land taken. Don't seem like a very fair system. So to be equitable, some states said, hey, we're going to do a deed sale. You might want to write that down, a deed sale, put it in the chat. A deed sale, which means we are a deed state, says, hey, we're going to wait 5 years. We're going to give them warning after warning after warning after warning after warning. We'll wait up to 5 years before we put it on the auction block. Right? But when we put it on the auction block, we're actually going to sell the house. So you live in a state like California. California is 5 years. After 5 years, that property will go to the auction. Once that property goes to the auction, that auction will start off at the back taxes and go up from there. Whoever wins that deal, well, guess what? That money goes to the county, pays back the back taxes. There is something called surplus. We will not talk about that here. It's a whole nother conversation. But that money goes to the taxes, goes to the county, and then you get the property. That is called a deed sale. But then some other states said, well, I don't want to do a deed sale. We want to give some more warnings to the customer or to the consumer or to the homeowner, right? So we're going to do a lien sale. So I need y'all to follow me real quickly, all right? Because lien sales can be kind of confusing. And so I'm going to use me and Tawana as an example. Is that okay? Tawana, I'll make you the person who's buying my property since I'm going to be the delinquent here, all right? So,
I appreciate that. Thank
So let's just say I went 2 years without paying my property taxes. And Tawana, being as wise as she is, likes a good investment. So she says, hey, Mr. County, Mr. Howard did not pay his taxes for the last 2 years. I'm willing to pay his taxes for him. And the county says, well, Mr. Howard has a 10% penalty. Once you are late paying your taxes, every state has a penalty. So they tell Tawana, instead of us taking that 10% penalty, when Mr. Howard pays his taxes plus the penalty, we'll give the penalty to you. She says, deal. I said, okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to secure your investment with the lien. We're going to put a lien on Mr. Howard's house for the back taxes plus the 10%. We're going to sell that lien, sell that investment to you. And then when he pays it, you get your 10%. Now that's in a state like Indiana, but every state has different rules. We'll talk about that in just a second, where these rules came from. But every state has different rules, and every state has different interest rates. So a state like Georgia has 18%, Florida 18%, Texas 25%, Illinois is 16%, Iowa's 36%, right? So saying all that is saying that every state has a different investment rate. Now, what happens to Mr. Howard after she just paid for my taxes? Well, then they're going to say, well, Mr. Howard, you have so much time to pay back Tawana plus 10%. That time period is called redemption period. You might want to write that down. Time period is called redemption period. A redemption period, it can be anywhere from 120 days. Actually, I'll send it short as 30 days, 30 days up to 4 years. I might get 30 days. I might get 120 days. I might get a whole year, 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years, depending on that state and also on that counter. All right. All right. So why does every state have different rules? Anybody, let's stop there, right? The lien state thingy. Did everybody understand the lien state thingy? Did that make sense, Tawana? Okay, cool. So you have states have two different ways. Well, actually, it's three. We're not talking about the third one because it's kind of confusing. It's called a redeemable deed state. Just, it's a mixture of a deed and a lien. Just don't worry about it. All right. So redeemable deed states are another one. And then you have some states that are what we call hybrid states. And that is that half the state may do a lien state and some counties may do lien states, deed states, lien states in different counties. Well, so one state, but different counties may choose to do liens, different counties may choose to do deeds, right? And so you have what's called 4 different states. You have a hybrid state, and that is that you don't really know what that county is doing until you actually go to their website. And then you have deed states, you know that they're a deed state. Then you have lien states, you know they're a lien state. And then you have redeemable deed states, which simply means I bought a deed, but they're still going to give a redemption period. That's the best way to put it. Like I bought a deed, I own the property, I can charge rent on the property, I can fix the property up, I own it, but they still will, even though I own it, they will still give the homeowner a year or 2 years to redeem. That's the best way to talk about a redeemable deed state. All right. But why do we get all these rules? You get all these rules, and this is the part that I love, but it also frustrates me because we have been lied to almost all of our life. Number one, we've always been told there's no such thing as a guaranteed investment. That's not true. There is a such thing as a guaranteed investment, and it's called tax liens and deeds. If you put your money out, I need y'all to follow me seriously, because I'm going down this train line and I'm going to take you on a whole nother road. All right. If you put your money in Wall Street, that's a stock, a bond, even an annuity, a mutual fund, because they're all tied to Wall Street. As Wall Street goes up, your interest rate goes up, you do well. But when it comes down, you don't do as well. And it's called volatility in the market, right? I call volatility in the market like being with a spouse or a boyfriend or a girlfriend who's schizophrenic. They good one day, the next day you don't know what to think about them. They good the next day, the 3 days they good, the next 2 weeks, you don't even want to say nothing to them. That's like looking at the stock market. Today it's up, tomorrow's down. Today it's up, tomorrow's down. I don't like investments that are volatile. I don't like relationships that are volatile. And I definitely don't want my money that is volatile, right? Tax liens and deeds give me a fixed rate of return that I know that I'm going to get no matter what, or I'm going to get the property. So remember that situation or example I gave you with Tawana and myself? That example, if I did not pay Tawana back the 10% plus her initial capital, well, then I'll lose my home because that house will revert back to the county. And since Tawana paid my taxes for me, well, then the county would then give her the opportunity to get that home. Now, when I say opportunity, there is a legal process that we have to go through in order to get that home into our name. We talk about that as well, but that's really it. Like, why have nobody ever told us about a guaranteed investment that I can get a guaranteed 25% in a state like Texas, and that's every 6 months. Well, between 6 months and 2 years, depending on what you buy. Or 18% in a state like Florida, or 18% in a state like, Georgia, or 16% in a state like Illinois, or 36% in a state like Iowa. Or what about like just 10% guaranteed in Indiana? If you knew that your 401k was going to produce 16 or 18% every single month or every single year, what would your portfolio look like right now? What would your retirement look like right now? If you were getting, instead of getting the 4 to 6% they've been giving you every single year, and you were getting 18 or 16%, what would your retirement investment account look like? I can tell you with compound interest, it would look like millions of dollars. It would literally look like millions of dollars. Well, why don't it? The reason that you see the largest entities in the country have the biggest buildings in every single city in the country, downtown, the biggest buildings are your insurance companies, your banks, and your hedge funds. Go in any city in the country. How can they afford to do, in every metropolitan city in the country, the biggest buildings in, I ain't talking about building, not singular, buildings with an S. The only one I would add to that would be healthcare, but healthcare don't invest in this. So we're going to say building, we're going to say insurance, banks, hedge funds. They have the largest buildings downtown in every metropolitan city. How? Let me tell you. This is that tunnel I was telling you about. They're taking your money out of your 401k. They're taking your money out of your mutual fund. They're taking your money out of your annuities. And when I go to auctions, guess who I'm bidding against? Insurance companies, hedge funds, and banks. I'm literally bidding against them. Whose money are they bidding with? They're bidding with your money.
Ours, right?
They're bidding with yours. What interest rates, Tawana, are they getting? 25, 18.
All of those ones you
16.
just named, right?
Right.
36% in Iowa, right?
Right. So now here's the deal. How much of that money did they give you?
What, 0.1%?
4%?
Yeah,
Yeah.
if 4%, maybe,
Like at the end of
right?
the year, you did a 4% return. Go look at your end of the year statement, or if you get them quarterly, depending on what you're in,
Mhm.
go look at your statement and see what you got in return. And I can prove to you that the number one buyers at tax liens and deed sales are insurance companies, banks, and hedge funds. Now, here's the deal. The reason that I get mad about it, Tawana, is that tax liens and deeds are arguably the oldest investment in the country. Hear me. In the late 1700s, our country was founded in 1776. In 1790, the first stock was sold in a company and the first tax deed was sold. It's arguably, some people say, no, the stock is older than tax liens and deeds. And some people say tax liens and deeds are older than stocks. So I say arguably. But
Mhm.
just the fact that we're having this conversation, that before Wall Street,
Right.
there were tax liens and deeds.
It was this asset class, right? Wow.
Right. Before there was a Federal Reserve System, there were tax liens and deeds. Before there was a mutual fund or a 401k or IRA or a Roth or a TSP or a mutual fund or a money market account. Now we know all the ones I just named, we all know what every last one of those is. We know those. But the one that's a guaranteed investment, why haven't they told us about this? And it's older than all of the other investments. And it's still around. Why haven't they told us about it? Because they are afraid that if you knew about tax liens and deed sales, you would no longer put your money in your 401k, your mutual fund, your IRA. Well, what happens to the market when you have massive people take their money out and say, I'm going to the auction just like you do? So they will not share this information, because if you pull out the market and go to the deals and go to the auctions, just like the mutual funds, the hedge funds, and the insurance companies, well, then the market crashes.
Mhm.
So they have to hide the secret. And only the elite pretty much know about tax liens and deed sales. Now, here's the deal. It's guaranteed because on one hand, I'm going to get a guaranteed return, or I'm going to get a house. And the great thing is that means that no matter what your investment type is, it fits it. You have some people, Tawana, that says, I don't want to be a landlord. I have no interest in ever owning a house and having people live in my house. I'm not interested in fixing and flipping and all that. I don't want to do that. But I will take 18 to 25%. Now I'll take that. I'm flipping my money every 4 years. Yeah, I'll do that all day long. But then you have another investment profile that says, you know, getting a house for $5,000 is worth $150,000 sounds like a pretty good investment to me. I'm willing to take that risk on. Sign me up all day. So what we've done, Tawana, is that we've developed strategies for both of those individuals. If you want this, the interest rate, I got you. I'm going to show you the strategy on how to get the interest rate every single time. And if you want the property, about 95 to 99% of all properties usually redeem, which means you don't get a property. I have a formula that works 80% of the time. That means like 4 out of 5 times, 8 out of 10 times, you're going to get the house. We call it get the property every time strategy. I don't know how we say every time when it's only 80% accurate, but it sounds good, right?
Good.
It sounds good. It sounds good. All right. So, yeah, so we have that strategy for you as well. And depending on which one you want, the first thing we say, what kind of investor type are you? What's your profile? Are you one who wants interest rates? Or are you one who wants properties? Because if you just want interest rates, then you can knock out all the D states already. Because D states are going to sell what? The property.
Right.
Right. Now, here's the next one, Tawana. Usually your strategy is going to be dictated by your budget. Sometimes what we want to do and what we can do are two different things. So we have to do what we can do until we can do what we want to do.
Absolutely.
Right? So that means that some of us might want to do the properties, but we can't do D states at first, because if you're going to an auction and you know the property's being sold, that property is more likely to go higher than a lien sale, because a lien sale, you don't know if they're going to redeem or not. You're taking like a gamble. I might get the interest rate. I might get the property. Unless you're using my formula, you pretty much know you're going to get the property, right? So lien states go cheaper than deed states.
Okay.
Now, I've been buying property for $500. Tawana, have I ever taken you to the county?
You have not. You have not taken me to the county. Not yet. Not yet.
I'm talking about online, virtually on the county.
Not yet.
I'm going to take you right now. All right. I enjoy doing this because, you know, there's so many people out here today that claim to be doing something that they are just not doing. Right. And if you ever hear somebody that's talking about they buying property, well, there's always a public record search that you can do. So here is Lake County property record search. I'm going to put my name in, George Howard, hit search. And then we're going to scroll down because I have so many different quick claim deed, quick claim deed, quick claim deed, right? We're just going to go ahead and look at, I just want to pull up my instrument. I just want tax deeds. All right, guys, I want you to see that you see 316 records found. All right. This is 2157 George. Well, let me show you from left to right. In 2019, I got a tax deed to George Howard. It came from the auditor. LC stands for Lake County, came from the auditor. It was 2157 Georgia Street. Here's the parcel number, and here's the property. Well, somebody might say, well, George, you paid $500 for a property. That property must be in pretty bad shape. Well, let's take a look at it. I'm going to right click on this. I'm going to open it in a different tab so we can come back to this tab here. And you can see here, you see that it's a tax deed. You can see it's to my name from the auditor. You can see I paid $500 for it, the address and the legal description. So we're going to scroll down here and I want to show you, I'm going to try to blow this up just a little bit so y'all can see. Can y'all see this right here where it says the indenture sum of how much?
It says $500 right there.
$500. So what does this property look like for $500? Well, great. Glad you asked. I'm going to go to Google and we're going to hit Google right here. Now, this property rents for $800 a month. I only have about $7,000 into it altogether. And I've owned it now, gosh, 4 years. This is the house. Small 2-bedroom, 1 bath. We actually finished the basement. So we actually put a 3rd bedroom down here in the basement. So this is a 3-bedroom, 1 bath with a living room in the basement. What you think this house is worth today? $500. This house is worth about $80,000.
Wow. And you rent it for $800 a month.
And it's been rented for like the last 4 years. The same tenant been in there. She actually turned this into a daycare. This is actually a daycare house now.
Wow.
So yeah, so she pays me $8 a month rent, and she wants to buy it from me. So we'll see if she ever comes up with the money. She's been talking about buying it forever. All right, but that's just one house,
Mhm.
right? So you guys know I'm making $9,600 a year off this property,
Right.
right? All right. So in 4 years, I made $40,000 off the property on a $500 investment and a $7,000 rehab. All right, and the house is worth $80,000. I need y'all to put this math together. I need y'all to work the math. All right.
Mhm.
So right now, a $500 investment, let's just call it a $7,500 investment, has made me about $120,000. All right. Then you go down to the next one. And it says over here, Lake County Auditor, 4315 East 6th Street. Well, what does this one look like? Well, let's go look. Right. I'm going to right click. I'm going to open it up in a new tab. You guys can see here that it's the Lake County Auditor. You can see here that it's 4315 East 6th Place. I'm going to scroll down here and you can see how much did I pay for this property. Can y'all, let me blow it up for y'all.
Yep.
Y'all can see.
$32.40, 34 cents.
$32.40, 34 cents. All right. So I paid $3,000. It's a whole lot higher than $500. Okay. I'll give you that. But you will see why I was willing to pay $3,000 for the house. All right. And this is 6. I want this one here. No, I don't. I want this one. Smoking hot barbecue. No. This is 6. It's going to be this one. We got a place in the avenue. It's place. Yep, that's it. I bought this house for $3,000. This house rents for $1,000 a month.
Nice.
It's worth about $125,000. Now I want y'all to see the neighborhood. This is what it looked like when I bought it, by the way. Nope. I owned it by now because it says 2019. And yeah, when I put that door on there, but it's a lot nicer than here. Just my tenant don't keep it up. All right, but y'all look at the neighborhood. Like, this is a beautiful neighborhood. The park is right across the street. Like,
I love
when I say,
Line Street too.
like when I say the park is right across the street, that literally, Mom, I'm going across the street, going to the park. It's
Nice.
right across the street. Great neighborhood. I paid $3,000 for this house. It rents for $1,000 a month. I've owned this property since how long, God? We bought this one in 2019 as well. So about 4 years. And it's rent for, I made about $48,000 off this property. And I've owned that property longer than that. That don't seem right. All right. So we'll just say 4 years, 48,000 is worth 125,000. I paid $3,000 for it. And again, that rehab was less than the other one. It might be somewhere between $5,000 and $7,000 for a rehab. All right. So now y'all get the point, right? If the first one, the second one is pretty good. So you see 500. I want y'all to kind of count these out with me, right? Count them out. 500, 500, 500, 3,500, 500, 500, 500, 500, 500, 5,500, 500, 500, 500, 500, 2,200, 900, 500, 2,200, 500, 3,700, 1,500, 500, 500, 11,000, 4,600, 2,100, 5,000, 500, 500, 900, 4,000, 500, 2,700, 500, 500, 500, 1,300, 500, 1,200, 500, 500, 500, 500, 500, 500, 500, 800, 500, 1,429, 500, 500, 1,900. Do I have to keep going? Do y'all get the point?
We get the point.
Right. And I can just keep going down and
You
down.
have done what they call showed receipts. That's
And you can see I started off with this property here. This was actually 1226 New Jersey Street. It is not correct on the auditor sheet. It's 1226. I paid $300 for this house. This is the second house I ever bought. First house I ever bought was $300. Second house I ever bought for $300. Third one too. Paid $300 for this house, you guys. Y'all tell me now. This is, y'all can see here, I bought this house in 2016. And this house rents for $1,000 a month. It should rent for more, but I haven't increased the rent on her. Well, actually, I sold this house already. I sold it for $90,000, but I had it for 5 years before I sold. I had it for 6 years before I sold it. I sold it in 2022. It rented for $500. I sold it. It rented for $1,000 a month. It's a 4-bedroom, 1 bath, basement's finished with a bar in the basement. I rented for $1,000 a month for 6 years. So that means I made about 72. So $1,000 a month, 12,000, 12 times 6 would be 72. So I made $72,000 in rent and then sold it for $90,000. So I made about $160,000 and some change off this property. right? So I go down here, show you guys here that I bought it for how much? $300 right there. All right, scroll up and let's hit, what does it look like? I bought this looking like this. You see, I just told you 2016. This picture was taken before that, I believe. And this is 12/26. Hold on, I gotta scroll around. This picture was taken in 2013. So it's before I bought it. This is what the house looked like when I bought it. I paid $300 for this house.
Wow.
This house, a $300 investment, made me $160,000. I need y'all to get this. All right.
Put a 1 in the chat if you get this. Put a 1 in the chat if this is crystal clear to you.
With receipts.
With receipt. Listen, all the receipts, okay?
You can't fake public record.
You cannot. You cannot. We've seen people pull up their e-commerce, this is how much I made today. It's like, is it? But you cannot play around with a county record. You went to the site, we saw you. This is legit.
So, guys, I say to people all the time, I bought over 100, well, over 300 properties. I have over 150 properties still. What I'm telling you, my students have bought over 3,000 properties doing this exact same method. We are proven. Like, this is a road to wealth that you can't imagine. I got a student named Ralph Tawana. Ralph, and if I was on here last time, I don't know if I told you guys about Ralph, but I told people something that was not true because I thought it was true at the time, and come to find out he thought it was true at the time too. And so I got a phone call last week from Ralph. I got a phone call from Ralph. Thank you. That was Dr. Sheeta telling me change the camera. If y'all don't know, she my boss. I act like I run the company. She the boss. Anyway, yeah, every man know they need a good woman beside him.
Not lying, guys. She is running the show.
Every man know he need a good woman ready to run. Listen, I wouldn't be as organized, proficient, any of that stuff if Dr. Jackson did not take care of me. So I love her. Thank you so much. All right. So Ralph, right? So Ralph just took my class. He just took my course. He actually bought, with that time we call it the master class. Okay. But there's so many people got master classes. We decided to call it the success bundle because it's not just one class. It's actually 5 classes. So he came through the live training when we did it live. And he took the information and he went to the auction. He bought 7 properties. He spent $5,000 for 7 properties. He then turned around and bought my mentorship. So of course I interviewed for my mentorships. You just can't join. And so my question to Ralph was like, but why do you need the mentorship if you already bought the 7 properties? He said, George, I got the properties, but I don't know what to do next. Like, they're liabilities until I turn them into assets. They just gonna cost me money. So, okay, all right. So we let him in. He paid his fee for the mentorship. His first consultation, we sat down and said, well, Ralph, let's figure out which properties we're gonna do first, and let's find out how much properties they're actually worth. Okay. Tawana, when we got done calculating those 7 properties, there was $750,000.
Wow. And he paid $5,000.
$5,000.
Wow.
Now, I'm not done. The first property we were going to do was a duplex. So Ralph said, okay, I'm going to get, he paid $500 for this duplex. He's now going to get financing to fix it. So the bank says, hey, we think it's worth, before they had actually sent somebody out there, we think it's worth about $175,000. We'll give you $90,000 to fix the house up. He's like, okay, I only paid $500 for it. You give me $90,000. Cool. It ain't coming out of my pocket. Cool. So that was like an estimate appraisal. Once he went through the paperwork, they sent out a real appraisal. That property came back not at 175, but 275. So they now told Ralph, hey, we're willing to give you $150,000, $140,000 to fix this house up. He paid $5,000 for a property that's worth $275,000. And he will not put another penny in it of his own money, his own capital. The bank is going to give him 100% of the capital to fix the property up. But it gets better, because now this property will rent each side, we believe, like $1,300, $1,400. But we said, hey, Ralph, let's just budget 12. And if we do better than that, that's fine. But let's do worst case scenario. It's 3-bedroom, 1 bath. on both sides, $1,200 a month. That gives you $2,400 a month. Okay, let's say we're gonna spend $100,000 fixing the property up. Out of the 140 that they're gonna give you, we're gonna spend 100,000. Make it real nice. All right. Out of that 100,000, and by the way, guys, it comes with 2-car garage too, by the way. So that's why I know we can get more than $1,200 for it. But anyway, all right, your loan is gonna be about $1,000 a month. The $100,000 loan you got to fix the property up, it's gonna be about $100, about $1,000 a month. You're gonna get $2,400 off the property, so you're gonna cash flow about $1,200 a month, or $1,400 a month, excuse me. $1,400 a month in his pocket is what he's going to get every single month. That's after the loan is paid. $1,400 a month. But then we're going to turn around and we're going to refinance that property. And you can pull out up to 75%. Our lender will let you do up to 75%. So let's just do 250. They said 275, but we're going to say 250. At 75%, he's going to put $187,000 in his pocket. But he don't get the whole $187,000 because he has a loan on that property for $100,000. Right. So now we're going to take away the $100,000. That means Ross walks away, minus closing costs and all that kind of stuff, with about $87,000. Now let's do the math here. Right. The Burr method, right? Refinance, pull the money out. He paid, but it's a little different than the Burr method only because he paid $500 for a property. He now has $80,000 in his pocket. The tenant's paying the mortgage, and that's the first property. Ralph has 6 other ones just like it.
Wow.
I need y'all to understand the power of tax liens and deed certificates. I need you to understand why it's been around for over 200 years, and they told you about every other investment, but they never told you about this one. There's a reason that a person like myself, that in 8 years can build an empire over $15 million in just property acquisition in 8 years. How? Doing what I just showed you. How many properties do we have to do for $80,000 or $50,000 before you can leave your job? If you knew that you had guaranteed rent coming in every month and you had $200,000 in the bank, would you still go to work? That's the question. I got cash flow coming in every month from my rental properties, and I got $2,000.
Not the W-2 job. I can answer that very clearly.
Yeah, the W-2 job.
I still do this
That's what I
one.
mean.
I still do this one because I love this community, but I would not do the W-2 job. Absolutely not.
I got $200,000 in the bank, y'all. I got property and y'all, 200,000. Let's just say it's 4 properties we just did like Ralph, just 4. You got $50,000 cash out. I got $200,000 in the bank, and those 4 properties is paying me $1,000 a month. So I got $4,000 passive income coming in a month. I got $200,000 in the bank. Can I live off the $200,000? Let's say you make $80,000 a year. Well, you got 40 coming in. Well, number one, if you make $80,000 a year, you don't make $80,000 a year. You make $80,000 minus 30%.
Right. Because
30% is going to go to taxes. So you make $80,000 minus 24,000. Let's just round it up to 25,000 because I like round numbers. That means you make about $55,000 a year. That's what you bring home. Well, you're making $48,000 with 4 houses.
Mm-hmm.
And you got $200,000 in the bank. How long does it take for you to get the 4 houses? Ralph did it in 1 year. I need y'all to see the power of this. So, Tawana, that was the first question you asked me. What's the next question? Eugenia said, bye, W-2.
Right, Eugenia, right. So the next question is easy. Tell us how.
So,
what do we have to do?
So let me tell y'all this. Tax liens and deeds, you can Google literally any county in the country and find out when the sale is. It's public record. Like, they can't hide it from you. It's public record. They have for so long, but the internet makes it a little easier now for us to get information. But before the internet, you was not, they had to put it in the paper and do y'all know the state actually passed legislation that the Senate and the House had to pass and the governor had to sign that dictate how tax liens and deed sales are done in your state? Wow. And you didn't even know about it? That they have them at least once a year in your state, and you didn't know about it? That it's actually published in the newspaper and you didn't know about it? That they actually have a live auction on the county stairs. In some counties, we actually have an auditorium because it's so many, but on the auction stairs, like back in the old days, like they would go to the auction stairs and auction off. They literally do that. And you didn't even know about it. But the wealthy did. The wealthy did. Well, today you get to say I'm wealthy because I know about it, right? That's the whole thing. I'm wealthy now. I'm wealthy because I know about it. And now I get to do it. But just finding out about a tax lien and deed sale is not the game. The game is knowing how to identify the properties that are not going to redeem. The game is how to making sure that even after I identify them, how do I make sure I'm going to profit? Because there are some things that you don't want to do, like buy them with liens on them. Like a lien, like, well, first of all, let me tell you this. Mortgages are wiped away. County liens and water liens and city liens stay because they're government liens.
Okay.
So a government lien, if I'm getting it from the government and the government says everything else is wiped away, but all the money you owe to the government, we still want. We want that money. So in my city, the water company, our water company is owned by the city. So water bills stay with the house. They don't stay with the person. So if I get a tenant in my house and they don't pay their well, not the water bill, the sanitary bill, they don't pay that. I get a notice as a landlord to let me know that they didn't pay so I can contact them to tell them to pay it, because if they don't pay and they move out, I got to pay it.
Right.
So when they get a shut off notice, I know my mailman person think that, because y'all know I own a lot of property. I know he thinks I'm a bum because I get all kind of water bills. with the pink notice inside of it, like, and I got a property manager, but they send them to me. They don't send them to the property manager, and because I guess the water company, the sanitation company, don't know it's a property manager on it. They send them to me. So either way it go, yeah, I know he probably thinks I'm a bum. But what happens if you get a property at a tax lien sale that has $5,000 water bill stuck to it?
Right. I don't know what happens. I wouldn't know what to do.
You wouldn't know. How do you find it? What happens if that house is on the demo list? What happens if it's been sight and seen it or had to be boarded by the city and they charged you a $2,000 board up fee? Right? Or, like, and we've actually, guys, I've known students that actually bought properties that were on the demo list. This is not an exaggeration. I'm so serious. Matter of fact, we had to save a property from the demo list in Hammond. Real quick story. The woman she was dead, Black woman. She was a very instrumental figure of civil rights leadership in Hammond, Indiana. I didn't even know her. Her name was Pearline Jenkins. Pearline Jenkins founded the NAACP in Hammond, Indiana. They have an event center named after Pearline Jenkins in Hammond. That's how historic she is. But she died, went to her sister. The sister died in the house that sat there, and the city was going to knock the house down. I bought it at a tax lien sale. It's on the demo list, and we had to actually fight at city council against the code enforcement people. Oh, hey man, just give me a chance to save the house. Like, just give me a chance to fix it up. Don't knock it down. Right? We actually fixed that house up, sold it. We sold it for like $115,000. We paid $5,000 for Miss Pearline Jenkins' house, but we saved her house. Like, we made a lot of money saving her house. Right? So, yeah, but it was a fight. But you don't have to do all that fight, because when I did that, I now put in my processes, check demo list. Right? It's now like, don't go through that fight. It's a headache, I promise you. Now it's like, it's on the demo list. We ain't going to touch it. Right? There are all kind of mistakes that you want to stay away from. And then it's all kind of research that you want to do. Like, how do you estimate a rehab? What is the after repair value of this house? What is the rent rate going in this house if you're going to be a renter? If I'm going to flip it, what would it sell for? How long would it be on the market? What kind of rehab do I have to do in order for it to sell that quickly? Like, there's real research that goes behind this that you must do, because I tell people all the time, we're not buying property at an auction. We're buying profit centers. And if you get to decide how much profit you're going to get, because you get to decide the house. I don't care what the house looks like. I promise you, I don't care what the house looks like. I care about the profit that house is going to bring me. I can take an ugly house and make it pretty. Matter of fact, I like ugly houses. I love them, because ugly houses, people stay away from them.
Right.
Which means I get it really cheap. And I go in and take that ugly house and I fix it up and make it pretty. And then I can take the equity out of it and put it in my pocket and I go on about my business. That's why you see 500, 500, 500, 500, 500, 500. All those were ugly houses.
Mhm.
We turned them pretty. When you see the 4,500, 3,000, 1,800, 19, those were decent houses. But the ugly ones, man, we took those, we fixed them up, pulled the equity out, used the bank's money to rehab them, and we went on about our business, and we put, 50, 40, 50, $100,000 in our pocket along the way, and we still like renting them out. This is the beauty of doing this. So how do you get started today? I would say get started would be for university. But just being transparent, you can Google right now and find a tax lien sale.
Mhm.
But when you find the house, how do you do the research? What's the legal process? What are the things you need to know behind the scenes? The worst thing that you could ever do, hear me, y'all, and Black people, we do this all the time, is get an inch of information and go run with it. And then we bust ourselves upside the head and we say, oh, it's a scam. It's not a scam. You didn't take the time to invest in the information
Right.
and invest in yourself. If it's worked for me, and we have over 3,000 properties being bought by our students, it can't be a scam. You just have to get the information.
Mhm.
So how do you get that information? That's the question, right? The information is here for you. I have a course called Build Real Estate Empires with Tax Liens and Deeds, because I've been able to build an empire. There's a young lady by the name of Anita. Somebody in here might know Anita, right? Anita messed me up when I did my book launch. Y'all don't know, I wrote 7 books on this subject, by the way. Anita messed me up when I did the book launch. Y'all, I really thought Anita owned like 5 properties. I honestly did. So I caught up on stage, and I know that Anita, she was able to purchase properties using other people's money. Another thing we teach as well. Like, how do you buy properties using other people's money? I ain't about the bank money. Ms. Tawana, we just had a conversation about it the other day, right?
Yep.
Anita went out and she was able to raise money because the properties had value. She said, hey, listen, all right, let's slow down. There are 3 things, Tawana, that stop people from being successful in real estate. 3 things. It's knowledge, it's money, and it's credit. Those are 3 things that stop people from being successful in real estate: knowledge, credit, and money. So how many people do you believe, and I want y'all to put it out there, percentage-wise, with wealth, with money, how many people out there you believe got money but don't know where to put it?
Hmm.
Don't know that you can get 10% minimum, 12%, 16%, 18%, 25%. How many people out there believe? What percentage of people you believe out there? I would say at least 60 to 70% of wealthy people would like an investment that's at least healthier than the 6% they're getting on a guaranteed investment. At least 60 to 70%.
Yeah, I agree.
You would say that too, Tawana?
Mhm.
All right. So if I could tell somebody and say, y'all, let's say you ain't got no money, you ain't got no credit. I ain't saying you don't. I'm just saying, let's pretend like you don't. Like, that's a real bad pretend too, right? But anyway, let's just say you don't want to use your money,
Mhm.
right? Well, then now you can take your money, put it to the side, put it up, and now go find other people who are interested in the exact same thing. And that's making money. That's what Anita was able to do. Anita was able to go out, find people who wanted to invest money, did not know where to, because she said, I'm not going to use my money. I'm not going to use my credit. I'm going to use my knowledge. And my knowledge is going to find people who got the money and the credit. And we're going to use them. And I'm going to buy the property with them. I'm going to split the property 50-50 with them, which, by the way, is a horrible idea. She should have done like 70-30. Honestly, she did 50-50. It's okay. Like 50-50. Like, that's my model. And that's, now that I know better, you should do better. I'll tell you about it in just a second, right? But Anita has bought in 2 years, maybe 3 years to COVID. So I think it was 2020. So I think it's 3 years. COVID was 2020, right?
Yes.
All right. So in 3 years, Anita owns 23 properties. I need y'all to hear this. In 3 years, Anita owns 23 properties. Now, I thought she only owned 4. So when I asked her to come on stage, I was like, okay, how many properties you own? It might have been 5, somewhere in there. I thought it was single digits.
Mhm.
90%, Eugenia said. Right? So can you find people out there that if you can say, hey man, it's a guaranteed return, And if we don't get the return, this is how much money we're looking at, because you got the knowledge. And you can say, I'm a part of a group, because you are part of a group, that this is what we do. I'm part of a group, this is what we do. You can actually say that. That's the great thing about being a part of a group like the 10K project, is that you say, hey man, I'm part of a group, this is what we do. You know, I got, you know, all kind of expert mentors and mentees and all that mentors and, you know, courses and all this kind of stuff that we're doing right now. All I need right now is somebody who says, hey man, willing to invest in a guaranteed investment. That's it. It's guaranteed. Like the worst you're going to do is make 10%, well, 5%, because you're going to get 5%. That's the worst. Best you're going to do is you're going to get, you know, 25%. And even better than that, you get the house. Come on, man, really? And you can even tell them what you're doing, tax names and details. Because again, if they're not taking my courses, my classes, they probably don't know what you know. And nobody else has to get to how to get the property every time strategy. Nobody else is teaching that. That's my formula. So you can tell them what you're doing. They can't get the information because you got it. That's the great thing. So getting started, Tawana, I will get started literally by, you know, getting started with, you guys can start with Bree. But Tawana and I were on the phone the other day, and y'all don't know, I do something called Auction Profits Bootcamp, right? And we typically do it twice a year, right? We're now going to start doing it. We want to try to do it at least 12 times a year. It might be like 10, but the very first one, additional one we're going to do is the one Tawana and I talked about. We're going to do Marion County. Now, I bought all these properties in Lake County. Both of them are in Indiana. All right. I typically buy in Lake County, but we're going to drive 2 hours up the road to our capital, Indianapolis, and all that's Marion County. And we're going to do the auction there as well. Now, what happens with this? You're not just getting a course, right? There's three levels of education that I need you guys to write down real quickly. Write this down with me. The first level is called information. Information, usually your YouTube, is going to give you very shallow information, just give you some information about the subject at hand. Might even be a book, a pamphlet, a blog. Going to get information. The next level is usually education. That's usually a course. Your course is usually going to give you education. But how many people have ever got information, took the course, and still did not know what to do? It's like, I get it, but there's some kind of missing there, because what you need is somebody to walk you step by the hand. We call that application. So you have information, education, and then application. Auction Profits is the application. Imagine having me as your coach and my team that's going to research all the properties. We're going to pull the auction list down, research all the properties for you, tell you which ones to buy, go through all the profits, and make sure it's a profit center, go through how to get the property every time strategy, go out and take pictures for you to make sure that the house still looks like what we think it looks like, and then come back, and then we're going to decide how much you should bid on this property to make sure it's still a profit center and make sure the bank will still lend against it. Walk you through that. Y'all, I can pretty much guarantee you that, I can't guarantee anything, but I can tell you this, that if you don't make at least $50,000 at this auction, then it's your fault, because you didn't do the research. This should make you at least $50,000. Now, I went 50. I really want to say 100. You get two properties. At $50,000 a piece, you're going to get $100,000. When I say $50,000 a piece, that's equity that you can actually do. Now, you say, well, George, I might not have no money for the auction. I just told you what to do. Be like Anita,
Right.
who went out and got investors, spent none of her money, and now owned 23 properties. She really owned 12 and a half.
Right.
Because she owns 23,
50,
right?
50,
Like
right.
she owns 50% of 23 properties, right?
Right.
50% of 23 properties, right? So yeah, she owns 12 and a half. But if each one of those properties, let's say each property is worth $80,000 at 12,000, that's $960,000. She's almost a millionaire. And that's if each one averages out to 80. They might average out to be 100. In 3 years, she's a millionaire. I need you to understand the power of this. You say, okay, then y'all just seen my receipts. Myself is going to walk you through the auction. My team, who have done this over and over and over again, going to walk you through the auction. Then we're going to go out and take pictures for you. Then we're going to make sure you don't, guys, we're spending 45 hours together in 1 week. I need y'all to get this, right? You say, wait, 45 hours? Yes. It was actually like in 10 days, 45 hours in 10 days. It's very intense. Now, all the lazy people, I might just lost y'all. And it's okay. Y'all can hang up. Right? It's okay. I'm not even messed up with it. Because I tell people like this, man, listen, you go to work in a week for 40 hours in a week, and you make maybe $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month. Some of y'all might make 6 figures, $10,000 a month. And I'm telling you that in 1 week, you should make at least $100,000, and you want to complain about 45 hours? Just keep going to your W-2 job. I'm not messed up with it. I promise you, I'm not messed up with it. But y'all, please understand that while this may be a get rich quick, number one, it's not a scheme, and understand that it's going to take work.
Right.
Get rich quick does not mean get rich easy.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two different things. And if it's get rich easy and get rich quick, it's a scam. You're going to put in work. And I say it only comes around once. Well, used to come in once a year. We're going to do it 10 times a year now. Right? But can you lose? Tawana coming. I'm coming. My team coming. The question is, are you coming? Now, I'm going to tell y'all, the price of this is $10,000. Just letting y'all know. Price is $10,000. For me to spend 45 hours for y'all for 1 week, y'all just seen my net worth. I just showed it to you. I'm going to help you make 100,000. You got to give me 10. If I'm going to teach you a skill set that's going to make you a millionaire, you got to give me 10. It don't make sense. Now, I got a payment plan for you. Well, we put it on the payment plan for you. $10,000, I believe, is 4 payments of $2,500 a month. Please, something like that. All right. But y'all have a very special coach and mentor that pretty much says, George, I'm already kind of open the doors for my people. I need to take care of my people. I need to make sure that I look out for them. What's the best that you can do on this? I said, okay, Tawana, let's do this. I said, for people who are really interested in taking action today. So we put a timer on it. If you don't get the deal by the time that timer goes down, that's your fault. Like I can't do no more, right? So let me see if I can bring it up. Yeah, here it is here. Yeah, you can get Action Profit Boot Camp. Number 1 is that you can do a PayPal credit. Number 2, you can put it on a payment plan. And number 3, it ain't $10,000. It ain't, nope, it's the wrong link too. It ain't even $49.97. It should be, yeah, that's right. That's right. No, it should be 2,500.
Yeah, that's what we talked about. We talked about 2,500.
Yeah, that's the wrong link. Let me get y'all the right link. Yeah. We said 2,500. Now, y'all, I'm telling y'all, everybody else in that,
I know I don't play.
everybody else in that room gonna be they paying. Now, I do have a sale right now for $5,000, which is why y'all seen that.
Right.
That's the wrong link. I got a
So for
sale
those
right
of y'all
now
who get it for 2,500, don't be going in that room talking about I got it for 2,500. That's your business. Keep your
right.
business.
Don't tell. Yeah. Don't.
Right.
Let me get the
Y'all
right
know
link.
this smile gonna get us a discount if it don't get us nothing else.
Shake him down, shake him down, shake him down.
Y'all know we a sucker for a good smile, y'all. Y'all know we're a good sucker for a good smile. That's what I like, but you know, I did negotiate next time she got to town, she got to at least call me at the country. She got to at least call me and tell me where she's going.
That I agree.
Yeah, she got to at least call me and tell me where she's going. All right, let me get this right landing page up for you guys. Y'all can get y'all discount. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not the right one.
But
So
for that
Tawana, what
price,
other questions did you have for me?
I was just gonna tell them for that price though, they got to act. They can't procrastinate because that is not a forever price. That is a price with a limitation. And so, you know, we can't negotiate a discount price for 6 months. So, so if we are for real about this and you guys really want to tackle Marion County, you know, you got to act now. This is one of those situations where we have played around with this building wealth thing for too long, right? Now it is time for us to build the wealth. And we have happened upon an asset class that allows us to do it legally, right? Guaranteed, because like you said, you know, it's either the interest rate or you get the property, right? It's a no-brainer. It's one or the other. And so we've got to be present. We've got to do the work, and we've got to commit to this if we want to get involved in this.
Almost a guarantee. Imagine if you had.
I found it. Let me refresh it, make sure that it's there.
That link is actually correct, Mr. Howard.
I seen it. It was actually correct. We just didn't change the landing page for her.
There was a copy, an issue on a copy. So the link that they have is actually correct. So I just came in.
I seen
She
that.
already shook him down, y'all. She shook him down. He got so nervous that they forgot to change the price on the page. So I had to
But
come
we
in
did
and
change the
just
price
let
if you. Yeah, so if you actually click the link, I just changed it on the page too. But if you would have clicked the link in the box, it would have said 2,500.
Yeah, it was right. So I was trying to stop you guys from trying to change things. You have the correct link. Tawana already shook him down. I don't know if she's gonna shake him a little bit more.
No, I think that was fair.
Okay. All right. There's a question in the chat. Does this opportunity mean we need to travel to Indiana? So Mr. Howard, could you explain for them how we handle these auctions with people that are not inside of Indiana?
And Kimberly
Well-
is actually in Detroit too. Hi, Miss
Oh, well,
Naylor.
she right around the corner. So I'll tell you guys
She's
this.
a contractor too. She is a contractor. She's amazing at what she does.
I love it. I love it.
Mhm.
So I'll share this with you. That number one, I apologize because literally it's on sale right now for $5,000. And Tawana shook me down to 2,500. But the regular price is 10,000. And in 10 days, that's where it's going to be at. Like just is. I think in 10 days it goes to 5,000 for y'all. So y'all get the sale that's going now in 10 days. And if y'all don't take advantage of that in like another 10 days, it's going to go to regular price, which is $10,000. So go save your coins, go do what you got to do in order to get it. But yes, so you do not need to come to Indiana. Everything we're doing is virtual. The auction is virtual. However, in order to get your deed or lien, based on what I read today, you don't have to do it in Lake County. Remember, every county is different. So let's talk about the legal process real quickly. And then I got to run. All right, we can talk about the legal process. What you guys are doing is actually going through a real foreclosure process, except the county is doing it for you. So the county says in order for the land to revert back to the king, they're going to take you through a foreclosure process. Now, I can show you how to do that legally in my state. I just don't do it anymore because there used to be something called a 120-day extension and they took it away from me. So if I didn't do something right, they gave me an extension for 120 days and I just redid it and got my property. When they took the 120-day extension away, I said, it's not worth me losing the property because I wasn't willing to hire an attorney. So for every property that you buy out in Lake County, I want you to add $700 to that because that's typically what we pay for an attorney. My attorney's $700. There are some other ones out there cost $1,000. But because we do so many with an attorney, my discount is what we get. All right. That's in Lake County. Marion County does it different. They say, you don't need an attorney. We do the foreclosure process for you. So remember that $700 I told you about? You don't need that. For every property you buy, you don't need that. They say, we do the whole, we're going to take care of all that. You buy it, we take care of all that. But they charge more. So the deposit in my county is $500. Their deposit is $2,500. One-time fee of $2,500. But you don't have to go through the foreclosure process. They go through it for you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now, according to what I read today, and I said read, is that in order to get your deed, you have to be present. Now, what I'll do is that I go to find the book. I go to an attorney meeting. I don't know how I got on this list, but some kind of way I got on it. They sent me, I started going. That all the attorneys and the judges go to this one big tax lien conference every single year. I go to, and I have the attorney's name and number that's in Indianapolis that I go to. I didn't go last year. I haven't been since COVID, but I've been 6 years in a row, 5 years in a row. Went 5 years in a row. Haven't been since COVID, but I still have their number. They know me. They think I never told them I was an attorney. I don't even know how I got on this list, but when I got the paper, and it's only like $299 a year. Like, I'm like, to sit in the room with judges and attorneys,
Right.
and they actually talk about the laws. Yeah, I'm going, right? So, so I'm going to call them and see, can you be represented by an attorney in order to pick up the deed? So now, instead of you flying in to pick up a deed from the county, can you have your attorney just go down there and pick up the deed for you? Do a power of attorney, have them go down there, they're representing you, and they can get the deed for you. That's what I need to find out. So do you have to come to Indiana? I'm going to say no right now, but pivot that, because based on what I read, they did say in person pick up the deed based on what I read. But there should not be any reason that an attorney cannot represent you and go for you. That's a legal right. So then we just find out, hey, since the county's already doing all the paperwork and we just need you to go down there and pick something up and mail it to us, what would you charge for that? $100 a piece? I think it's worth $100. Save you a plane ticket in the hotel room.
Right.
So if we got 30 people that he's going to go down with, and we can say, hey, we're going to pay you $3,000 to go to the county and pick up these deeds. Do you think an attorney would do that? Yeah. $3,000 in a day to go to the county? Yeah. He's definitely going to do it. Right. And so that's the kind of things you guys got to do. That's powers in numbers, power in numbers. And you take those numbers and you put it together. Yeah. So that would be the answer to that. Typically, it would be no. We don't ever have to come to the state. We do everything virtually. But when I read the rules for the state, for the county of Indiana, county of Marion County, it did say in person pick up your deed. So I think that means that they're not going to mail them. But I do believe that an attorney can pick that up for you. But I do want to make sure that I want to verify that. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. We've got a question from Eugenia. She said, I want to understand the commitment. She said, first of all, great fee to take the course. And Eugenia, it's not a course. I want it to be clear. This is mentorship, right? It is what Mr. Howard said is it is working the list of available properties, showing you, having someone go take pictures of them, helping you through that guaranteed redemption, right? So guaranteed that program. So it's not just a course. It is the hand-holding that we need to get to success. So I wanted to make that very clear. So then she said, attending the auction online, bidding on the property. Once the deed is obtained, the person obtains the deed, you can fix it, rent it, etc., until the grace period for the owner is over. So no, let's back that up. So you're doing one of two things, right? So remember what we learned is if the delinquent taxpayer does not pay, right? And in the example we just gave, right? Mr. Howard was the delinquent person. I was the person who bought the tax lien, right? By buying the tax lien, Mr. Howard has the opportunity to redeem, right? So he has the opportunity to keep his home. He can pay me back for the lien I paid on his behalf with interest, right? So that's one way I get a return on my investment. I can get the interest. If he does not do that in the allowable time that the law gives him to do so, then there is a process upon which I can now own the actual property, right? I would own it free of any mortgage. Mr. Howard in this masterclass is going to teach us how to make sure there are no liens against it, right? Make sure it's not on the demo list he talked about earlier. So it's not until we do all of that, right? We actually take possession that we can then go in and fix it up, right? Because once it's ours, then we can fix it up, rent it, sell it, whatever the case may be. But that happens after the redemption period and we take possession of the property. In between those two periods, you're kind of waiting, you're playing the waiting game. So during that time, that redemption time, we're just sitting back waiting, right? If Mr. Howard comes up with the money to pay me back plus the interest rate, depending on the state we're working in, then that's a win-win for me. If he does not come up with the money to pay me back with the interest rate, then that's a bigger win for me. But either way, I'm winning because I got a return on my investment. So I just want to make sure that was very clear. Mr. Howard, did I miss anything? Did I misspeak at all?
I think I'm gonna make you a coach. It was perfect.
The books. I'm not playing. Listen. Your girl's not playing with this one, okay?
Yeah, that was perfect. I'm like, has she done this before? Like,
and I just want to also give clarification to the link. So when you click in the link, there's a section where you put your name, your phone number, and you click the link that says, I think it says 100 seats available or something like that. When you click that link and it takes you to the final shopping cart, that is where you see the $2,500. Yeah, when you say reserve your seat. So you put your name, your credit card number and all of that, that's where it should, there you go, right there. So when you guys click that first one, you'll still see that $49.97. It's not until you go into the cart itself that you see the $2,500 and you see the clock ticking. We've got 10 days, 4 hours, 49 minutes and 40 seconds, 39, 38, 37. The clock works. All right. Any other questions before Mr. Howard has to?
Eugenia has a question. She's okay. I know there's a state where you can bid on the tax lien.
Hold on, what she said? She said, okay, I know there are states where you can bid on tax liens, other states where you can bid on tax deeds. I assume this one coming up is for tax deeds versus the liens. My mistake. Oh, got you. Okay.
Yeah. So this is a lien state. And Rochelle was in here. So I did not know Rochelle was in here. So she's in your 10K project. I spoke with her the other day. Rochelle bought a property, I think 3 or 4 years ago. I shut it down. I used to have an investment project doing exactly what it needed to do. We would split the properties 50-50. They pay all the money. I did all the work and we split everything 50-50. I shut it down because everybody didn't have their money and then they stuck me with the bill. And then they wanted to get mad if I took their properties, and I just didn't want to be out here people saying, oh, he took my property. No, you didn't pay your money. And I had to do it. So I just shut the whole project down. But Rochelle was actually a person who actually got a property here in the state of Indiana. I believe that her property ARV is worth about $140,000. We paid $500 for that property, I think, Rochelle. So yeah, it's been amazing. Like I didn't know she was in here. So yeah.
Very good.
So you got two people. So you got two testimonies in. You got Anita in this group, and you got Rochelle in this group. Yep. Both have bought properties with me.
Very good.
I'm just saying. What's going on, Rochelle? Too good to see you.
Talisha, you said we had a question in Facebook, dear.
Yes, I put it in the chat for you.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Oh, Tracy asked, since you'll be doing this multiple times a year, how many times do we get to go through the process with you for the 2,500? So let's talk about that, right? Because the multiple times a year will be different counties, right? It won't be the same county, just to be clear.
And different work too. So let me tell you what, since she was ready to answer that question, let me tell you what your coach worked out for y'all. I'm telling you, I should just go ahead and call it the negotiator, right? Right. So here's the instructions that you guys will receive. Right. And so this is Auction Project Bootcamp, Marion County. And if you scroll down here, all the way down here, and it says, if you are a previous participant, or if you've already purchased for the next Lake County auction and you need a payment plan, oh, I'm sorry, it's here. So if you already participated in auction profits this year, or you purchased to participate in the Lake County auction, your sale price is below. So if you already bought one and you want to come to another one, or if you already paid for the Lake County, you want to come to the other one, everything's cut in half. So we got you 50% off for each one of these. So right now it's $1,250. Let's say we got one in Lake County, it's going to be in September. But right behind Lake County, we're gonna do Marion County in October. If you paid me, let's say when you call my early bird special, you paid me $2,500 for my early bird special. No, $5,000 for my early bird special. $5,000 for my early bird special, and then you want to come to Marion County, then you would only pay additional $1,250 right now. And you would still sit through all 45 hours. You would still get all the coaching, all the teaching, everything, but it would cost you half the price. All right. So, yeah. So I'm sorry, Dr. Jackson just put the PDF in the thing. She was,
Oh,
I just
wonderful.
got plus that. She was like, "Did you just show Canva?" Y'all don't know. I'm just like, okay, we're just gonna pull this up. Did you just show? I know you didn't. So y'all don't know. I'm about to get on the plane to go to fly to Dr. Rashida. So I'm probably gonna have a beat down when I get there.
We'll get in trouble.
She literally is like, "Did you really just show Canva on the thing?" Yeah. I'm sorry, Dr. Jackson. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
and then I'm probably gonna get a bigger whooping because I just told on her, like what I just said. Like yeah. Anyway, yeah, I tell you, she run the show. I'm the one that just talks. She runs the show. Like, but all of that information that you have is actually in that link, in that PDF that you guys can download. Just click on that and save it, and you should be able to download it to your own PC or your phone, whatever you watch me on, and you can pull the information up. But I do encourage you to act in the next 10 days. I think Tawana will be sending you out emails or put it in the group or wherever how she ever communicates with you on how to do that.
Kind of notifying you and with the newsletter. But the truth is, right? We're not gonna babysit this. You got the information, especially those of you who are on here right now watching this. You got the information. You know what you need to do, right? You know what you need to figure out. So we're gonna give some reminders, but we can't force you to take action, right? I don't want you guys to miss this opportunity, but it'll come around again and it might be higher the next time it comes around. We're going to lean into tax lien. So the opportunity will not pass. It just may not be at this price. Let's just be completely honest, right? It won't be you're right. This smile can't take us.
Beautiful smile though. I got to give it to her. It's beautiful.
I know,
beautiful smile.
But even I know my limits. Even I know my limits. And you can't negotiate that hard that for a long time. So let's be mindful of that this opportunity is going to be here. You'll have more testimonies in 6 months, right? But the price will not be the same. So that's just full disclosure. You know how I like to be transparent with you guys. This is we just straight, no chaser here. This is a great price for what he's offering. I think you better cool believe I'm gonna be in the room. And so that week, all 10K sessions will be canceled because I got to do my 45 hours. So I'm just telling y'all right now, whatever that week is when it comes, I'm gonna be 45 hours in whatever room I need to be at, on whatever Zoom I need to be on, getting this information. And I want as many of you to come along with me. That's what this is about. This has always been about how many people can we take with us when we win. And that's what I believe this opportunity is, one of those opportunities.
Yeah. So
Talbot says, are people able to use this strategy through the business LLC, or is it more favorable to proceed as an individual? I think that's a great question because it's more favorable to be an LLC, isn't it?
Correct. So, well, it's all about legality. And for me, I'm always going to be protection. I always want to be protective. So if by chance there was ever a lawsuit or something ever came up and it never was in your name, it was always in your business name, it gets less likelihood that it can ever be tied to you. It's only going to be tied to the business. So, but just know that if you're going to register in the business name, registration opens tomorrow. It's all in that document. Registration opens tomorrow. And if you're going to register as a business, they want you to have at least a foreign entity in the state of Indiana. Or you can open your LLC in Indiana. And it takes 3 minutes to do an LLC here. And it's $93, $94, I think, to open an LLC here. So if you want to do that, or if you want to do a foreign entity, it's still $93, $94. Either way it go, they're going to want that. Like, you're not going to come to a government auction and not be a legal entity in the state. So you're going to have to go through that process if you want to use that.
So say
and
that
I'm not
again.
against
Say that again. So the LLC has to be an Indiana LLC?
Oh, no, you can have a foreign entity. So I can have an LLC in Michigan.
Delaware, Michigan, wherever. Okay.
Right. But I have to be registered as a foreign entity in the state of Indiana because I'm buying property here.
Got you.
Yeah. So let me tell you what happens inside of here. Every day, we're going to actually walk you through the auction. Like, we're going to help you go through the list. We're going to sort through the list, right? Do I still have that list open? I do. So let me share my screen with you right quick. So guys, this is the actual Marion County list right now. All right, and I'm just going to go down. So right now on the Marion County list, there are 2,000 and let's see here. It says 2,148 properties on this list. All right, but there's a lot of information on this list, and every piece of information that's on this list is very valuable. So I'm going to show you how to take this 2,100 property list and actually find the ones that apply to your strategy and actually go to you. So it's the auction ID number, your unique ID number, the parcel number, the state, the county, the actual address of the property, the year of the sale, the access land. And I got some fields in here that's already hidden. If you can't tell, like I got ABCD, no EF. I'm sorry, ABCD, EF, G, no H, and then all the way through, those are hidden. Like I took out the information we didn't need already, right? Because what's happening is that I'm sending this already over to my team so they can already start going through this already. So they have time to prepare for this. So when they get you in the room, they know exactly what they're doing. So we've already gone through here. Here's the owner's name, the owner's address, which is really important. Owner's name, owner's address, and it goes down. Oops, let's go back. Here's the legal description, how much the fees are, which is really, really important. All this information on here, guys. We're going to start off with this, and we're going to go through this property one by one and sort it based on your strategy, because there are some people in every auction profits we do that say, I want the interest rate. We show you how to get the interest rate. And then as most of the people say, I want the property, but we show you how to get those properties. Now, Indianapolis or in Marion County is more expensive than Gary, Indiana, which is Lake County auction. It is more expensive. Just y'all just showed you all those $500 properties. That probably won't happen in our state capital. Just full disclosure, right? I didn't want you to be like, I thought I was gonna get a property for $500. It's possible, but not likely. Just full disclosure, you're probably going to be spending a couple $1,000s for a property in Indianapolis. But like here, where our property values are usually $80,000 to $120,000, if you got a really good house, 150, and if you got a mansion, it's like 200, 250. In Indianapolis, the property values are higher. So while you pay more money, the property values are higher. So if you pay $5,000 for a property in Indianapolis, that you're probably looking at a $200,000 house and up. Like, you don't find many properties in Indianapolis less than $200,000. So if you're coming and you're bidding on properties and they're going for, $7,500, $10,000, again, that is well worth it because you're buying a real property, especially if you're doing how to get the property every time. What is the time frame to close the deal for pay for the property? It's online, and it did not say that in instructions. Great question too, by the way, Camille. But I can tell you in Gary, Indiana, where we are, they give you 5 days. You get 5 days to send your money in after the auction closes. So 5 days, I would go with that until we can actually find out. Now, guys, we're going to call Indianapolis. In fact, I'm going to Indianapolis just so I can take Anita out. Oh, by the way, Tawana, y'all know I get in trouble because I'm full. I talk too much. But I got in trouble yesterday. Miss Anita, if y'all don't know, Miss Anita is also like one of our best assistants. Like, she always finds her way, and just the most helpful person that you can ever imagine. Just straightforward, really transparent, gonna tell you what you did well, tell you what you didn't do well, but she does it in love. So she called me last night and we were talking. And by the way, if y'all don't know, this presentation, I was just like, wait, is that tomorrow? So Anita was like, she called herself getting into me. She says, why do I have to find out from Miss
Tawana, right? Because I told her.
Why I gotta find out about Miss Tawana about the Indianapolis thing, and I live in Indianapolis. And I'm like, oh, see, I would. So Miss Tawana was the one who told me. I thought we were better than that. So you gonna come to my city and not tell me you coming to my city? And I was like, see what happened,
I'm sorry, I got you in trouble.
It's okay. I love this. We still love each other. She just told me she gonna make me pay for it. All right. So saying that though, is that I'm going to go to Indianapolis. I got to take her out to eat now because she's gonna make me pay for it. Take her out to eat. But while I'm there, I'll go to the county to make sure that, guys, every preliminary thing that we need to do in order to make sure that this is as smooth as possible, we're going to go do those preliminaries. So we'll make sure that everything is well taken care of. Well, we know before or after it expires if we need to present at the auction. Present at the auction. You know, way before. Well, what you talking about? The deal expires?
Before the 10 days deal expires is what they're asking, yeah.
About the attorney, about having an attorney represent you?
About if they have to come in person or if it can be an
Oh,
attorney.
we'll know tomorrow.
Person.
Yeah, that's just a phone call away. That's a phone call away. We'll know tomorrow.
Wonderful.
But yeah, we'll know tomorrow. And now that I have Ms. Tawana's number, I'll text her and let her know, and she'll disseminate the information over to you guys. But I'm going to say 9 times out of 10, I just don't think they're going to mail a deed. I think that's why I said that it's going to be in person. I don't think they're going to mail it. So have an attorney go pick them up for you and all your fees and stuff is paid. I don't foresee any of that being a problem. Just really don't. All right. I got 7 minutes, you guys. I got 7 minutes, hard stop in 7 minutes. So answer me all the questions y'all want to.
Right. Any final questions, guys?
Oh, so
go ahead.
You do not have to be present at the auction. The auction is online. You don't have to be present at the auction. The auction is online. So doing auction profits, we're only going to do properties that are online, auctions that are online. So I can bring communities together. We can research them, figure out which one's the best ones, decide which ones we're bidding on, do the checklist of how to get the property every time strategy, make sure it's a profit center, how much we should bid, how much money you're going to make on it. We're going to go through all of that research together. Then we go to the auction together. Like we go to the auction together. So since it's online, we're going to be online together, watching the properties at the auction go. Does that make sense? So somebody said, Wayne County, you want me to do Wayne County? Of course we can. I'll have my team do the research when it's going to be Wayne County, Michigan. All right, we can do it together. I don't have a problem with it. You guys throw the counties out there that you guys want to walk through together, and we will do this every single time, putting my team together, having it out there. And guys, I got 5 minutes. The reason we have never been able to gentrify our own areas is because we never had access to capital. Well, in this situation, we don't need to have a lot of capital. We just need the knowledge. So imagine going into Wayne County with a group of 100 people and everybody walks away with 3 properties. We just bought 300 properties, and we do that over a period of 3 years. Well, we own 900 properties in one city. How strong is that? I really want y'all to think, if we went down to the county or even to the city commissioner or even to the city council or even sat with the mayor and say, we represent 900 properties in this county or in this city, do you think they would listen to us? Like, there's a lot of muscle, but because we never operate as a unit and we always want to do things individually, that's when we fail. There is power in numbers. So I just want to throw that's right. Eugenia said that's major, right? So us doing this together as a unit only strengthens us as a bond. It only makes sense. And then it goes with the core mission of the 10K project. It goes with the core mission. So for me, it's a no-brainer for me. Like we're in the process right now buying a whole zip code. Like literally an entire zip code. There's like 1,200 properties in one zip code. Is all in tax sale. I'm going to get all 1,200 of them.
Nice. Very nice. Tangi said, are liens wiped out in Marion County like Lake County? I'm not sure what she means by wiped out, but you may know.
Okay, so all previous liens. So I bought property with mortgages on them. Like that $300 property, the first one I showed you, there was a $72,000 mortgage on it. So when I bought that property, there was a lien on it. The mortgage is wiped out. That's in the whole state. Right, so any previous mortgage, any liens against the properties are wiped out unless it is a government lien.
Okay.
Government liens are like the grass got too tall. We had to send the city out to cut the grass. They put a weed lien against it. The water bill stayed with the house. There's a water lien against it, right? The house was being used as a crack house, or squatters was in it, and we went and boarded it up, right? There's a board up lien against it, right? So all these are county liens that we can go look and find them. I'll show you how to see if there's other liens against it. Those are the only ones that stay with the property, including IRS liens. IRS liens, they typically get another 120 days to redeem. But even they got to pay you back your 10% plus your capital, plus your contribution. And if they don't, you still get the property. Even the IRS goes away.
Right.
So, yeah.
All right. We did it. I think we did our part, Mr. Howard. I think we did our part.
All right. Well, we're gonna see. I'll get that information for you about the auction. I'll have my team call
Wonderful.
Indianapolis tomorrow.
And then I'll guys, if you're not already in our tax lien group, Talisha, do you mind putting that link in here too? So we created a separate tax lien group so that the information about tax liens wouldn't get lost in our regular Facebook group. So if you guys are not already in that and you want to join that, we'll put the information in both places, but it'll just be more direct if you look to find it in the actual tax lien group, because that will be all about tax liens. And as you guys know, in the regular Facebook group, we talk about all the things, right? So just to have a more direct line to the information. So that's where we will put it. And then and we'll post it in the regular Facebook group as well. And then I may even, next time I'm live, I'll mention it just so that anybody else that missed it can get it.
All right. So I got to run, Tawana, but check this out. So
Go ahead.
of course,
I know you got a plan to catch.
so I know Dr. Jackson has already looked up Wayne County. She's so wonderful, isn't she? It's October 3rd through the 12th. So it looked like we'll be going to 2 auctions at one time, because I think this one's the 3rd through the 6th. Dr. Jackson, when is this auction that we're going to in Marion County?
Marion County is September 28th through October 1st, right?
No.
I think that's registration.
The auction actually begins on October 2nd through the 6th, but I haven't completely finished the research for Wayne County. I just was starting to pull it, so I'll know to go and look that up next. I think this is a silent auction, if I'm not mistaken.
I hate silent auctions. So I'll tell you guys about that.
And the reason I'm going to tell you that I believe it's a silent auction is because they don't close the batches until the 19th through the 20th. So online bidding starts on the 4th. So that means that this is probably not a live auction like the ones we're used to.
It's live. It's going to be the same way when we go to Indianapolis, same way in Lake County for the treasurer sale. It will be, they're going to close out in batches as well, but we'll talk about what batches are and how they close out in days. This is why we're going to be live with you guys every day, and because batches will close out on different days. So the first batch may close out, let's say there's 2,000 properties. We say 1 through 200 will close out on Wednesday at 2 o'clock. 201 through 300 is going to close out at 2:30.
Okay.
301 to 400 is going to close out at 4 o'clock. We're done for the day. Come back tomorrow, 500 through it, right? So on those days, that means if your batch is later on, now we still got time to do research. Now we got time to still do numbers. Now we got time to still work with you, right? And so that's why we're going to be there every single day, because every day still gives us opportunity to go look at more properties, right? And then if your strategy was, oh, I wanted that one, but I didn't get it. Well, now we can go back and look at numbers and say, okay, how much did you have allocated for that property? If you took the money you allocated for this property and put it towards this property, do your numbers still work, right? And so there's a major strategy that goes along with this that we actually help you with that. And Dr. Jackson, what you gave us was 2022. I don't think they released 2023 yet.
Emily just said the same thing. Wayne has his auction and it's closed in batches daily, not live. After the September auction, whatever doesn't sell is auction again in October, right? So they do their auctions back to back. They do a September one, then they do an October one from what I'm reading. But the October one appears to open on the 4th, but they won't close the last batch until the 20th. So that's well past the.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I got to go. I'm gonna leave y'all here. Y'all can have a good time. I'm gonna miss a plane if I don't get out of here.
Go ahead.
But
Don't
thank you
skip
for having me.
away. We appreciate it. Guys, we're going to stay on for a few more minutes so we can wrap up. I want you guys to, Mr. Howard, thank you so much. Dr. Rashida, thank you so much, my dear. I appreciate both of you. Thank you so very much. I think the community is going to benefit greatly from this, and we have you to thank for that. So thank you in advance.
I wanted to tell you thank you for sharing your smile.
Always that.
Now,
All right.
send him a picture so he can be reminded the next time he's putting packages together. Let me do Tawana's up front. Thank you
So
guys
you
so
can show my
much.
picture.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Technology is what it is, but we're glad to be here. So thank you, 10K Project, Talisha and Tawana. We appreciate you. Take care.
Thank you, my
Guys,
dear.
thank you.
Okay, talk to you soon.
All right.
All right, guys. So we went over a lot this evening. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I would love for all of you to come back for the Bet on Black pitch. For those of you who are watching us live Facebook, go get something to drink, something to eat, and then come back. We've got an amazing founder coming tonight. I know I say that every single week, but every single week they're amazing. And so I am not lying. But we want to be able to support tonight's founder as well. We went a little longer than I wanted to tonight, but I think it was worth it. I hope you guys enjoyed the information that we got. I hope you were inspired by it. I hope many of you are considering moving forward. And like I said, with the opportunity, we're going to do this over and over again because it's proven. It just may not be at that price. So if you can't do it, just stay with us, right? And learn with us. Because we'll be sharing information in the group and all of that stuff. So I want you to still stay connected if you don't have the money to proceed, because you will one day have the money, right? If you keep hanging out with 10K Project, we're showing you all the ways to build wealth and have some disposable income. Last night, we talked about white labeling hair care products, right? And so we're trying to teach you all the ways you can get a little extra money in your pocket. And the more extra you get in your pocket, the more you can invest with, the more that you can, put somewhere else and grow it. And so please don't be discouraged. If this is not your time, it does not mean your time is not near. So don't get discouraged. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be right here until we all win. That's my motivation. That's my goal. So I will see you all hopefully in a few minutes, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to have our Bet on Black pitch. Please come back. It's going to be live streamed also in Facebook. So, but we'd love you to, we prefer you to be in Zoom, because in Zoom you can ask questions and really can engage. But we just want you to be able to be here, however you be here. So with that said, I'm going to say good night. Thank you again, guys, for joining us. You know how I feel about you guys. I absolutely love you as a community. And so thank you very, very much. And hopefully I'll see many of you at 8 o'clock. If not, I'll see the rest of you on Monday next week. Bye-bye.